Hello everyone, it's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to start a new chapter, Biological Classification. Your presence makes us very happy, so stay connected to Biophilia. So for more such study videos, do like, share and subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for more notifications of the upcoming videos. So let us start the session with building the theme of the topic that we are going to discuss in this video. So let me ask you a very simple question. Do we organize things? अब organization क्यों करते हैं? That is all that we are going to discuss to build the theme of this topic. So a very simple question, do we organize things? So answer might be yes or no, but knowingly or unknowingly we do organize things every day, right? So let me ask you that on what basis do we organize or you classify things? अब ये डिपेंड करता है that what type of group you are classifying or you are organizing. That might be trash, जो garbage है, that might be classified into various substances, that might be recycle के लिए भेजना है or you want to make a compost out of it, or that is a dry waste or a wet waste. All that thing is nothing but you are organizing and classifying things out. सुपरमार्केट में कोई चीज़ अगर क्लासिफाइड या ऑर्गेनाइज नहीं है, so it has become very difficult for you to find the things that you need to purchase. फार्मेसी स्टोर में अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है, so the pharmacist or the chemist might find it difficult to provide you the medicine at the right moment. वैसे ही घर में सबके पास क्लोजेट होता है, so in that closet also you try to color code everything, right? So all that things, for example, when you are looking up for your clothes, so you might choose what sort of colors you are going to choose for categorization, what types of clothes like all dresses, pants, t-shirts, एक जगह पे segregate करके you are going to prepare and organize your closet. So whatever you are going to take for classification, that is going to be common, that are called as characters. So ये सब जो होते हैं, they are characters that you are going to have common for categorization things. So now the last question that comes, that why do we have to organize or classify things? Answer is very simple. To get It's very simple, and we can get help from ourselves to get things in easy and a lot quicker manner. So for easy going life and a more quicker way to find it out, we are going to classify or organize things. So using the same baseline, the same stuff, that making it easy and getting it a more quicker way, many people started using this method of organization and classification in biology to classify organisms. So that is what we are going to see in this topic. So the method used in biology for simplifying the study of organisms is going to be biological classification. So now let's see what biological classification is all about. So biological classification जो है, that is going to be a scientific procedure. अब ये scientific procedure है, that is on the same baseline that we are going to classify the organisms. अब organisms को जब classify कर रहे हैं, we are going to use different groups and that groups are going to have some characters. जैसे अगर आप कपड़ों को classify कर रहे हो, you are going to have some characters in mind, some common things that you are going to keep in mind while classifying into different groups. Similarly, for organization of organisms, there might be basis on similarities and dissimilarities, and on that basis you are going to place them into different groups and have a hierarchy of categories, and that complete procedure is going to be called as biological classification. Now biological classification का start कैसे हुआ था? How did it progress to the system that we modernly have right now? So that comes from a very long story. So the earliest attempt that was done for classification was done by Aristotle. So Aristotle was using simple morphological characters. अब morphological characters जो होते हैं, they are going to be the visible characters that can be commonly seen by any common man. So whatever the visible characters are present, on that basis Aristotle had classified plants. तो जो plants थे उसको classify किया into herbs, shrubs and trees. Now that classification you might have studied in lower classes as well. On the basis of height and the lifespan on all other characters, plants को classify कर सकते हैं. Even Aristotle tried to classify animals on basis of presence or absence of RBCs. So now you must know that what are RBCs? They are going to be the blood cells. तो अगर RBCs absent है तो they might be placed in a different group. अगर present of RBC है तो again they would be classified into another group. So that was the earliest attempt on the visible characters of the organisms. Slowly and steadily as people were getting to know about more ideas, तो वैसे progress होते गया in classification system. So there was a two-kingdom classification system that was given by Linnaeus. So Linnaeus, the complete name was Carolus Linnaeus. He had classified all the organisms into two kingdoms. और ये दो kingdom थे, the kingdom Plantae and the kingdom Animalia. So as the name can also tell you a little bit about, the Plantae was regarding the plants. So जो सारे plants उसको नजर आए, he placed it into the Plantae kingdom, और सारे animals जो थे they were placed into the kingdom Animalia. So अब ये क्या characteristics थे that he used, or what were the features that he used for classifying organisms into Plantae and Animalia. So here are some features. जैसे cell wall को, he talked about cell wall. Whether they can move or they have locomotion, mode of nutrition क्या था, how did they respond to the external stimulus, contractile system था या नहीं था, and what were the organisms that he actually placed into that kingdoms. So this were all the features that he kept into his mind and classified all organisms that he knew into Plantae and Animalia kingdom. But while he was classifying, he actually did not have that much of material or resources during those times. But still his work was very, good work. But again, there are some limitations for his system. So actually he did not have, classifying unicellular and multicellular organisms. Unicellular or multicellular organisms को he could not distinguish into his kingdom. Eukaryotic or prokaryotic को he could not separate out very clearly. और third limitation था, he could not classify photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. So these were the three limitations that the two kingdom classification could not complete. But during that time people were appreciating his work, because whatever he did at his level was a good work during those times. But now when we see about two kingdom classification, these were the limitations. अब ये limitations जो है, so example could be to understand कि Chlamydomonas जो है, Euglena है, and the slime molds, they all share some characteristics that are similar for both animals as well as plants. So for that there was no new system developed to place such animals. So whatever he thought, he placed those kinds of animals wherever he liked. अब जैसे क्लेमाइडोमोनास की बात हो रही है, तो क्लेमाइडोमोनास इज गोइंग टू बी यूनिसेल्युलर, उसके पास एक ही सेल होगा. देन इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ ग्रीन and a motile structure. Whereas if you are speaking about Euglena, तो Euglena जो होगा, it is going to be both animal acting and as well as a plant acting species. अब slime molds को अगर पहचाने तो slime molds are going to be called as fungus without cell wall. So you know that fungus without cell wall, then the plant and animal characteristics both in Euglena, Chlamydomonas having a single cell, green and motile. So it becomes very difficult for Linnaeus to keep all these organisms classified into a one single kingdom. तो उसके लिए नए सिस्टम बनाए गए थे as the advancement in the classification arised. As there were advancement in the classification systems, a new upcoming scientist called as Haeckel had suggested a third kingdom, और ये third kingdom जो था that had overcome the limitation of the two kingdom classification जो एक लिमिटेशन था दैट वाज टू सेपरेट द यूनिसेल्युलर एंड द मल्टीसेल्युलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स. दो किंगडम्स जो बनाए थे, ऑल द यूनिसेल्युलर एंड मल्टीसेल्युलर वर एक्चुअली प्लेस्ड टुगेदर, but that problem was solved by the third kingdom called as Protista. So Protista was actually separating the unicellular and the multicellular organisms. So जो first limitation था in the two kingdom classification given by Linnaeus, that was solved with the help of Protista kingdom. Protista kingdom जो था, that was having all the unicellular microorganisms that included fungi, protozoans, algae, bacteria and even slime molds. So all those unicellular microorganisms were grouped together into the third kingdom, Protista. अब वापस एडवांसमेंट हुआ, then the fourth kingdom arose. So fourth kingdom was given by another scientist called as Copeland, and the fourth kingdom was actually overcoming the second limitation of two kingdom classification, that was separating out the eukaryotic organisms and the prokaryotic organisms. Now, eukaryotic organisms, you might know that these organisms are having nuclear wall, that is they have nucleus, and if you are asking about prokaryote, then they won't have nucleus in a prominent form क्योंकि nuclear wall नहीं होगी. So those will be categorized into prokaryotes. So the differentiation between prokaryotes and eukaryotes were separating by the fourth kingdom called as Monera. So ये overcome कर दिया the second limitation by the Monera kingdom. Monera kingdom जो था, that was including all prokaryotic organisms. So prokaryotic organisms में you mean that they had eubacteria, that is having cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria को we also say blue-green algae, as well as the archaebacteria. So the four kingdom classification के बाद we had four groups, that was Monera, Protista, Plantae and Animalia. But still we were left with one more limitation of two kingdom classification, that was filled up by the fifth kingdom classification. So the new five kingdom classification was proposed, and the fifth kingdom was called as fungi. So fungi was the fifth kingdom that had completed the third limitation of two kingdom classification, and this fifth kingdom was given by R.H. Whittaker. और R.H. Whittaker का जो five kingdom classification था, that was a well known classification system that we still study majorly. So he had various criteria on which he had suggested the five kingdom classification. So there are five criteria that he majorly used, that was cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction and phylogenetic relationships. But इनमें से भी the most important criteria that he had been using for classification, that was mode of nutrition. So mode of nutrition was the most important criteria for classifying this kingdom. Now here comes a table regarding all the characteristics that he had been using for five kingdom classification, and the five kingdoms after the discoveries जो थे, that were Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and the Animalia kingdom. So in the five kingdom classification you have these five kingdoms, and there were characteristics which were used to segregate all these five kingdoms. जैसे cell wall हो गया, then cell type हो गया, then you have nuclear membrane, whether is it present or is it absent, how is the body organization, and what mode of nutrition does the organisms follow. So using this table a lot of questions can be asked to you, like you can find out the kingdom wherein you have eukaryotic cells and you have heterotrophic nutrition. So you might remember कि अगर eukaryotic है, then they might be from Protista, fungi, Plantae or Animalia kingdom. So for instance, if you are saying eukaryotic, तो eukaryotic में ये चार kingdom आएंगे, because you know that the first kingdom is going to be prokaryotic. So बचे eukaryotic में चार kingdoms. Now they are asking you that it has a mode of nutrition as heterotrophic. So heterotrophic mode of nutrition में दो kingdoms आएंगे, that is kingdom fungi and the kingdom animalia. So like these you can classify various types of organisms based on the characteristics that are presented to you. So questions can arise from this table. It is a very important table in the NCERT, so you need to remember each and everything in this, and questions can come. You have to identify the kingdom or the organism based on the characteristics that are provided to you. So as there were advancement in the classification systems, there were many arrangements that were going on in the organisms as the advancement occurred. So एक example याद रखने के लिए you can remember that when Protista kingdom was introduced, it had actually brought up Chlamydomonas, it had brought Chlorella, Paramecium and Amoeba into its kingdom. But अगर Protista के पहले की बात करें, then the Chlamydomonas and Chlorella were actually placed in kingdom Plantae under algae. और ये ऐसा क्यों किया गया था? Because the people understood that they both had cell wall, so they must be placed under Plantae kingdom. But in the case of Paramecium and Amoeba, they said that as they lack cell wall, they must be placed in animal kingdom. But जैसे ही Protista का introduction हुआ, then all those four organisms were placed into the kingdom Protista. So ये जो rearrangement हुआ, all those rearrangement and the changes like it occurred earlier in this case, it can occur in the future as well with the new advancements. So that is not fixed enough, but till our study, this is what we have, that Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, Paramecium and Amoeba are all included under the kingdom Protista. Now let's understand about one more advancement, that was the six kingdom classification. अब ये six kingdom classification जो था, that was introduced by the scientist Carl Woolsey. This person had introduced the sixth kingdom, और ये sixth kingdom का जो introduction था, that was actually splitting one of the kingdom, that is Monera. So Monera जो kingdom था, that was having all the eubacteria and the archaebacteria, that was actually splitting and making the six kingdoms. So Monera को अगर split किया into two, so that was making a total classification of six kingdoms. So Monera को break करके the new kingdoms were introduced as archaebacteria, and the second one was known as eubacteria. So archaebacteria और eubacteria को भी differentiate किया गया था on some criteria. So the difference between them was the absence of peptidoglycan. Absence of peptidoglycan जो cell walls में होना चाहिए था, but it was not present under the organisms who were placed in archaebacteria. So archaebacteria में जितने भी organisms थे, they lacked peptidoglycan in their cell walls. But since there was occurrence of branched chain lipids in the membrane instead of peptidoglycan, this branched chain lipids, ये सारे जो organisms थे, उनको archaebacteria के अंदर classify किया गया. Now there was one more discovery or study about it, कि जब there was advancement in studies, there was a observation that was taken that on the base of sequence of 16S ribosomal RNA genes. So these are the genes, one type of genes. तो उनके sequence के ऊपर the Carl Woolsey had actually found out that the six kingdoms, that is archaebacteria, eubacteria, protista, fungi, plantae and animalia, all these six kingdoms can actually be naturally clustered into three main categories. और ये three main categories जो थे, that he called as domains of life. So domains of life, कार्ल वूसली के हिसाब से तीन domains बनते हैं, and these three domains were named as bacteria, archaea and Eukarya. So all these three domains were actually having the 6 kingdoms, और ये 3 domains का एक common ancestor था that was called as progenote. So it became like, first of all you have a common ancestor that is progenote. प्रोजीनोट के नीचे क्लासिफाई किया that was having the 3 domains of life, और 3 domains के नीचे there were 6 kingdoms that were named as Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and the Animalia kingdoms. तो पहले ancestor progenote, then the 3 domains of life, and then the finally 6 kingdoms of classification. So that was the complete classification system that was represented by Carl Woolsey. So this slide is all about the classification of different types of kingdoms, और जो सारे studies आ रहे थे regarding classification. So that is all under one slide, how the timeline had given us different types of classification, starting from the 2 kingdom classification to the 6 kingdom and the 3 domain classification. All that has been mentioned on the one little slide. So for more such study videos, do not forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Stay smiling, keep studying till the next video comes. Thank you.